I just got off the water. We're here in LA. I'm Cole from MACkite, and I'm here with Evan from FLITElab, and we're gonna break down the differences between FLITElab's traditional board here and their new Amp Jet.
Yeah, so FLITElab's launching this summer with a really great foil lineup. Obviously your standard raw board, that's your unpowered board, multiple sizes. And then we've got the Amp Jet board, which is I think what a lot of people have been excited about. A lot of people have been really curious about, how does it work? How's the product assembled? What are you getting out of this package? So it's pretty exciting.
So the magical part about the Jet here is you're getting into waves that you'd never be able to get on a traditional prone foil board. On the front here, there's a button. You click the button, you do a couple paddles, you hang onto the front, and you're in the wave, you're going. The beautiful thing about the Jet compared to some other products out there is you're not dealing with a motor down here on the mast. So when you pump, it feels like a normal foil. But yeah, Evan, I know you've been riding too. What have you taken away from this compared to the other stuff out there?
Yeah, it's a really cool product. I think like you said, this is assist to get you in the wave, but it has less drag, it has less weight than some of the other foil assist products, right? So you're still paddling in like a regular surfboard, but you get that boost to get into a wave that you would never catch. So that could be a roller offshore if you're doing downwinders. That could be a wave that's not breaking. That could be even winging, right? There's different modes in the launch pad here depending on your application. So we'll take a quick closer look kind of at how the product works. This is kind of the cartridge in the back. This is kind of where all the technology is, right? So we pull out one quick bolt here and we can pull this cartridge out of the back of the board. Cartridge slides out. So in this cartridge is where you have your batteries in the front, you've got the motor and the jet in the back, right? We've got multiple size boards, so you can move that cartridge around from board to board. Inside the cartridge, we've got our batteries. Our batteries are travel safe batteries. They're 142 watts. So you can put them on a plane, take this thing traveling with you wherever you go, which is really amazing. You mind holding the cartridge for one second? Take a closer look at the batteries. There's a ton of technology in these that we don't have the time to go over in this video. But basically the batteries pop apart so you can travel with them independently. Put them together in the cartridge to go out and ride. So we'll put the batteries back together. We're going to load it into our cartridge as if we're going out for a session. We're going to slide it in. If you listen closely, you heard a little beep. It automatically turned on just then. We're going to put our end cap on so we're watertight. Water can get in and around here, no problem at all. This whole unit is completely sealed off. Slides in our board. It's going to automatically pair to the launch pad in front of the board, which is how you control it. We're going to secure it in place. And then let's take a quick look at our actual launch pad. So this is kind of the heart of how you control it.
Yeah, and I'll say for my session, it was so easy to use this. There's like...
I just hit the button by accident, but yes. So this is our launch pad, right? You can take it out, it gets recharged, and this is how you control your jet.
Notice how there's no wire. From here down to the Jet, it's all wireless, but it's really easy. You literally push this button when you want the paddle assist, so you feel like Superman getting out back into the lineup. And then this button here is what you press to get into the waves. It's stupid simple. You hit the button and you go.
The cool thing about this as well is, you can actually program it, right, for different applications. So if you're winging, I might have my presets here on winging. I might have a longer delay. If I'm prone paddling, I might have a shorter burst to get up on the wave. I might have it for downwinding. And within each mode, you can have different presets. How much power do you want? How long do you want it to last? How do you want it to kind of, increase? So you can really tune it, to the conditions, to your riding style, to your weight, whatever it might be. So this is really great. Like you said, there's basically two main buttons on here. The circle is your paddle assist. So that'll essentially give you power for a minute straight, paddling back out. You can click it again for a second minute. You can turn it, make it out after 30 seconds. Touch it again, turn off that assist. And the triangle button gives you that more boost to get up, into the wave. And within that button is kind of where you do your presets for, how much power do you really need? How much do you want? So like you said, it's really simple. And I think that's the beauty of it. Is that you almost feel like it's not there. You click the button when you need it, and besides that, you really feel like you're just on a completely traditional foil board, which is great. So I think that's awesome. It also tracks your ride, so you can see all kinds of statistics on your ride itself. And even if you're not using this board with the Amp Jet in it, maybe you're traveling and you want to have your where your cartridge goes, there's a foam blank that can go in there, so you can ride the board without the weight of any batteries or jet in there. Ride as a regular prone board, wing board, whatever. You can still track your ride with the launch pad, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, and the other thing I was gonna ask is, we have a lot more like intermediate advanced riders out here today, but like, what is the Jet? What does that allow for beginner riders?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool point. Like, we actually had 2 people here today who had never prone foiled before, which is insane. One person had never really foiled before other than an e-foil. Someone else is a really good foiler, but they didn't have those skills to paddle into a wave.
Yeah.
And both of them got up and were riding waves literally for the first time ever prone foiling, which is normally like a year-long journey to learn. So to be able to go out in one session, the one guy actually got his very first wave, got into it, got up, got on his feet, and then once he was foiling, the e-foil skills kind of kicked in, right?
Yeah.
That truly blew me away. So I think for people looking to kind of get into prone foiling, it's a really cool tool for that. I think for yourself or for me, I really see the beauty in it giving me the opportunity to get out in different conditions, doing the downwinders, being far offshore and not having to be chased by a jet ski, getting into rollers. So, having that range of uses, even big waves, right? Yeah. It's really hard to paddle into a big wave on a small foil board. You're always towing in, but to have the thrust to get in, I think it just opens the window for so many different days out on the water, really.
Yeah, that's where I see like this shining, is like those breaks where it's almost breaking and you're like, man, that would be such a killer wave. This is like the ticket to get into those. But yeah, the guys that were new to foiling, like, it just seemed like their opportunity to get into the wave went from being this big, because like we just have punchy little waves today, where all of a sudden now they had this huge room for error, so they could actually get into the wave.
For sure, yeah. And like, as a beginner, right, you might be able to surf on a longboard. You don't want to foil on a longboard.
Yeah.
This is a 5.0, which by surf standards is really small.
Yeah, it still rides small.
By foil standards, this is kind of normal. Maybe on a little bigger size. We've got a whole range of sizes. 4.2, all the way up to a 5.8. 5.0 or the 4.8's a really great size for a beginner. But under normal circumstances, someone that's not a proficient surfer, they're never gonna be able to paddle in on a 5.0.
Yeah, for sure.
So to have the opportunity to ride a smaller board, I think is really cool. What I don't want to miss out on the video real quick though is the application for winging. Yeah, and I think especially for you guys, having that boost assist to get up winging in super light wind, riding a smaller wing than you would normally ride is really cool. Looking at the product, you might go, I don't understand how that works, because your launch pad's down here on the board. But I think, again, that's the beauty in it, right? You don't have something in your hand, so you can be on your knees getting ready to get up. You click your boost button, you preset your delay into it. 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever you want. Then you've got the time to get to your feet, get the wing in hand, and have that assist to get up. And then obviously once you're up on foil, you're free. One more thing we didn't mention is, well, if I have a 10-second boost, does it keep boosting me when I'm in the air? Yeah. And the answer is no. If I hit the button right now,
no, that's shut off right away.
You're gonna hear it, do a loud auto temp right here, and it turns off. So it senses when the board's out of the water, and that boost will cut off automatically.
Yeah, and that's gotta be really nice. I know here we don't have many guys, but that's gotta be super nice in crowds, so you're not annoying everyone.
I think that's the other aspect to it, right? Like, it is a little bit sneaky. I think this is technically a spot that doesn't allow e-foils.
Yeah.
No one even knows that you're on this, right?
Correct.
There is no exposed prop. There is no danger in that sense. And it's really incognito, even just as you're walking down the lineup. You could be paddling by a guy surfing, and you'd be looking at you like, man, that guy's paddling fast. And he doesn't know you've got kind of a subtle little boost going on there. You don't hear it. You certainly don't see it unless you look at the board really close. So I think that's also pretty nice.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You might feel bad even foil driving around the lineup. Where at this, you're really part of that normal lineup, but you can still sit super wide and catch those rollers that no one else can really get into, and be polite and kind of stay out of the way of regular surfers if they're in the water as well if you're not foiling. So it's unique, and I'm really just impressed with the job that Chris and the FLITElab team have done. I don't think it was any short journey. Definitely took a few years, but now that it's here, you look at it, you're like, man, it's there's really nothing that I don't think would change.
Yeah, everything on this product is so well thought through. Like, I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect coming out here. Blown my expectations away. The biggest thing with this product, I'd say, is it just opens up the possibilities of the conditions that you can get out in. And then, like we were saying, with learning how to prone foil, it's going to help you learn faster. And for those more advanced riders, you're going to get into just more waves that you would have never been able to get into on a board this small. But thank you so much, Evan. And guys, yeah, if you're curious about the product, feel free to check out the links in our description or head over to MACkiteboarding.com. We'll answer you guys' questions and help you get on these.